Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. Let's get into today's show. Yesterday, we did a live, okay, reacting to some comments that Rich Paul had to make on his new show with with Max Kellerman, right? And on this new show that he's doing, I believe it's a podcast or something like that. You know, they're talking about a whole bunch of different things right now. This particular pairing, I guess some people are interested in hearing this particular pairing. I'm not, to be honest with you. I mean, there's so many there's so many podcasts out there, to be honest with you, that now it's just the entire market has just become so saturated at this point where it's like, I feel like there are too many podcasts. If I'm being frank with you, I feel like there are too many podcasts, and a lot of these guys are pretty much saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And I mean, at this point, I mean, who really cares, right? Who really cares? I think at this point, we've heard it all. We've heard it all. But nevertheless, they decided to start a show together through the Ringer. But anyway, he made some comments yesterday that made some headlines, and I want to quickly read from a Yahoo Sports post, right, that we want to put up. It says, "No, where's he going to go? Does LeBron make the Knicks better? Yes, he would, of course. But 29 other teams would say the same thing. Rich Paul on if LeBron would leave the Lakers this season," and then continues on in the next slide. "I personally don't think the Lakers are good enough to be contenders right now." And then the last slide said, "I don't think they have enough to get to the Western Conference Finals." So we did a live yesterday, all right, reacting to the comments about, you know, LeBron leaving the team. That's really what we were talking about. But anyway, yesterday on Gil's Arena, they decided to cover this topic. And the title of the show said, "Rich Paul dissing the Lakers stuns Gil's Arena." So I click on to hear what these gentlemen were talking about. And on the panel, it was Kenyon Martin, Gilbert Arenas, Nick Young, and Brandon Jennings, right? Now, when we did this show, I was a bit surprised because I'm like, is he dissing? Like, those were some pretty weird comments, but that wasn't really the main idea of the show that we were doing. But one person that had some serious issues with Rich Paul making those comments was Kenyon Martin. And let me just tell y'all, when Kenyon Martin started to go off, we're not going to show the footage, but when he started to go off on Rich Paul, you could see this awkwardness on the couch. It was almost like, yeah, I'm not going to say anything. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And I'm like, this is something that we definitely have to talk about today. Okay, great. So what we want to do is play what Kenyon Martin had to say here about Rich Paul making those comments, and we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to his comments here.
Rich Paul spitting or tripping saying the Lakers aren't a contender with their current roster?
I don't know if he's spitting or tripping, but when is it cool for agents to speak in this manner, bro? Like, when? Like, when did it become okay for agents to come out in this manner, I've never heard, I've been around this game for a while. Like, if you to speak up for your guys, for your player in that manner, I understand that. Mm-hmm. But when is it okay to, like, oh, they ain't good enough? Like, when you got guys on the team, like, what type of like, that out. Like, spit nor trip, I don't know, but this is an interesting thing going on. Mm-hmm. That you're an active NBA agent and you have a show. Like, this out of me. Everybody. What, you're going to be commenting on other people? Like, cool. Like, more power to him if he got the means to do it or whatever. But still, like that, like, it's interesting that you are an active, one of the top agents in the business, and this platform this platform is not, from what I'm gathering, it's not you speaking on the business of basketball and you trying to educate people further in that field. because you have been one of the more successful agents out there. This is not that. If he was doing that, I ain't got But you commenting on how good this team is very interesting to me.
So the premise of the show is Kellerman and Rich Paul discussing the most pressing topics in sports and culture.
So they do what are we doing?
Yeah.
They are trying to do what we are doing here.
Yeah.
And not one of us represent players, I don't think. So, but I just think it's interesting. So spitting, tripping, interesting.
But do you think the Lakers with this roster as is, we talked about this a little bit last week.
So you heard what Kenyon had to say. What are my thoughts about this? By him saying, look, the Lakers aren't good enough, because of who? Because of who? Luka averaging over 30 and damn near triple-double. Reeves is averaging 29 on some crazy shooting. LeBron is averaging this season 16 points, 4.7 rebounds, 7.6 assists. He's shooting 46% from the floor, 33 from three, 54.5% from the free throw line. I'm looking at this roster and I'm just like, because of who? Because of who? It almost seems like a shot at the Lakers front office. Like they haven't done a good enough job. Well, how can you expect them to do a good enough job when they got a 41-year-old on the roster making $52.6 million? Like, what exactly do you want them to do? Or is it that you don't want them to play Luka? Is Austin Reeves on a max contract? Like, I'm confused here. It's almost like, Garrett, they're not good enough to give LeBron what he wants. That's number one. But for the point that Kenyon Martin is saying, he's like, you're an agent. You're an agent. Why are you making these kind of comments? And how are the Lakers players supposed to think? And is this an extension of what LeBron really thinks about the roster? Is this what LeBron thinks? Because if you think that, there's a high probability that your biggest client may feel the same way, given the fact that he's a player on one of the members of the roster. Also, given the fact that Rich Paul earlier this summer said that, look, we're evaluating the Lakers right now. We understand that they're in the future mode, but we're also looking at this thing from a present standpoint of whether or not LeBron can compete for a championship. This is what he said this summer. So to now hear him go out there and say that on that show seems like a shot at the front office. It's just like, those are insane comments to make. Hence the reason Kenyon Martin is pointing it out. Like, yo, are you being for real right now? And Kenyon Martin was the only one that said that. DeMarcus Cousins also said it on the other show we heard. He was like, yo, what is dude talking about, right? Like, what are you doing? Like, those are wild comments, right? So seems like a lot of people are not happy about it, and some people feel like maybe Rich Paul is overstepping his boundary here as an agent when you're not the general manager of the team and your star player is not the key guy on the roster anymore. Like, LeBron is the third best player on their team. What are you talking about? If anything, if the Lakers are not good enough, it means that they need to make an improvement by getting somebody else better than him. If anything, like, literally, that's what should be done. Like, I mean, who are we looking at here in terms of, okay, these guys aren't any good? Who are we meant to be looking at? We know that Kobe is easily one of the most disrespected NBA greats of all time. It's almost like open season right now. And I think one of the things that's happening after sitting back and thinking about this thing critically, I've now come to the conclusion that it's the people that go at Kobe and constantly, I think they're using him as a lightning rod for rage bait. There's a lot of rage bait going on. And people know when they say things about Kobe Bryant that are especially outlandish, it's going to get people pissed off, but it also drives engagement. It's one of the ways people drive engagement. Look at the Bleacher Report article. It drove okay, let's put it this way. If Bleacher Report said Kobe Bryant is a top 5 player or top 6 player, do you think it would have made any news? No. But if you say he's outside of the top 10, then you're going to make headline. Then everybody's going to be talking. That's called rage bait. And because Kobe Bryant isn't here to defend himself, it's easy to do these things. But what a lot of us have been saying over the last few months, and not just independent guys, some NBA players have said it. Shout out to Matt Barnes. He said it. Who else? I think Byron Scott said it. Some other guys said it. I don't know if Steven Jackson said it, but I know Matt Barnes said it. He was like, yo, respectfully, like, y'all are living in a dream world, man. All of a sudden, and it really kicked off when T-Mac went on ESPN First Take with Stephen A. Smith, and when they had Jay Williams on, they were talking about if you replace me with Shaq, and that really got people pissed off, right? Like, they came for T-Mac, bro, and like, it was crazy, like crazy work, and everybody's like, yo, what are we doing? Like, you got players talking on Kobe that were not even half the player that he was. Like, what are we doing? Number one. And number two, where was all of this when Son was here? Where were all of these comments? Where was all of this commentary? I never heard it. Where were these comments at? You got NBA dudes now trying to act like, yeah, well, you know, like, bro, we never heard from you. Son was here for so many years. Why we never heard this? And why you ain't ever prove it on the court? Half of the dudes that was talking about Kobe, not even in his universe, but they having all of these things to say, right? So people have been calling it out. So what happened? Yesterday, I came across a clip, the full show, from a show that I've actually not sit down and watched ever. And it's from Run It Back on FanDuel TV. And it says, Kobe Bryant greater than Tim Duncan and Lakers are not contenders. Now, on the panel, you have Michelle Beadle, DeMarcus Cousins, Chandler Parsons, and Lou Williams. So I click on the video. It's about a 10-minute video. I'm like, where's the part where they start talking about Kobe? Like, I don't see it. So eventually they get to the part where they're talking about Kobe and Tim Duncan. And essentially they were reacting to the comments that were made on the Bill Simmons show between Bill Simmons and Max Kellerman. Fantastic. So they're now talking about, is Kobe above Tim Duncan and all of this nonsense, right? And Chandler Parsons says his two-piece or whatever. Has his few cents in there. And then Lou Williams starts to get visibly annoyed. And then Lou Williams snaps. He basically like, nah, y'all need to knock it man. Y'all need to knock it off right now. And Lou Williams started going off. And his entire energy changed. And the things that he was saying. And it got really awkward. Okay, cool. So what we want to do is I want to play what Lou Williams had to say about this. And I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Lou Williams here.
Shout out all the ex-ESPNers, because now we got Bill Simmons saying some stuff. Tim Duncan over Kobe Bryant all time, and he thinks that it's actually outrageous when people do it the other way. Interesting, Chandler. Duncan over Kobe, yay, nay. Buying it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. It's not that controversial then.
I don't think it is. I think if you look up most of the rankings, I think most people have Tim Duncan ranked ahead of him. And again, it's all different. Like our rankings will change based on, you know, the new age guys like Bill, Kareem, and Wilt that are going to be ranked up high on certain rankings. But when it comes down to Kobe and Tim Duncan, I think Tim Duncan is ranked ahead of him. And most people.
Anybody disagree? Agree. Oh, well, who's doing something over there? What are we doing?
We got to stop trying Kobe.
No, we're not trying Kobe. We're not. Are we not trying Tim Duncan?
No, hold on. Slow down, Chandler, before you jump on me.
Damn.
It's too many conversations around Kobe's legacy these days for my liking. Like, we know who Kobe Bryant was, and this has nothing to do with Tim Duncan. I'm going on a soapbox.
Oh, here we go.
It has nothing to do with Tim Duncan. We got to stop trying Kobe's legacy, comparing him to this person, comparing him to that person. When that man was alive and well, none of this was a conversation. His legacy wasn't confused. Who he was, his iconic status, his star status, none of those things were questioned or confused. It was either he was one, he was either two, he was either three. The end. It wasn't about Tracy McGrady. It wasn't about Tim Duncan. It wasn't about any of these people. So now all of a sudden that door is open because there's nobody to defend him but his fans and us. So I'm going to step up and say, let's stop this with Kobe. Leave him alone. Leave it alone. Allow him to.
Wait, so he's better than Tim Duncan?
I think so.
Well, there it is.
What conversation have we had? What conversation have we had that Kobe Bryant hasn't? It hasn't been LeBron, Michael Jordan.
Well, you know what?
Kobe
You know
Bryant.
why the defense of that is? Because nobody ever gives Tim Duncan the proper amount of respect.
That's a different conversation. We can give Tim Duncan all the respect and love in the world without bringing Kobe Bryant into that conversation.
But if we're doing a list of the best of all time, then we have to.
Kobe Bryant, on 99.8% of all of those lists, Kobe Bryant is in the top 3 of all of them.
But my point is that those lists are wrong.
If you look at the rankings of the NBA players, he's not top 3 of most of the rankings.
Whose rankings?
Just Google top 3.
I don't want to Google it. We, for a fact, 3 basketball players sitting up here. Which one of us is not going to have
Thank
Kobe
you.
Bryant in our top 3?
Me.
That's it.
Me.
Top 3.
Top 3?
So you're
And
in
I
that
love him.
So you're in that point 2 I just talked about.
I think your numbers are wrong. I think your numbers are way off here. I think if
I'm
you
not
look at
doing that.
rankings.
I'll have to
15
have numbers.
seconds. Tim Duncan, Kobe. Who's higher?
Oh, y'all done arguing?
It was a spat.
I wanted y'all to keep going.
You know what? We'll carry this
Tim
to
Duncan or
tomorrow.
Kobe?
We'll be back tomorrow.
Tim Duncan or Kobe?
See you tomorrow.
Excellent. So you heard what Lou Williams had to say. First of all, shout out to Lou Williams for holding it down for Kobe. But what Lou Williams is saying is what we all know. What you got is a bunch of these dweebs running around here that are now trying to take shots at Kobe Bryant, a bunch of dweebs. All right? A bunch of dweebs trying to take shots at him. And Lou Williams is like, yo, y'all are a little bit too relaxed with this. Y'all are a little bit too comfortable. And Michelle B was like, wait, people disrespect. He's like, no, if you want to big up Tim Duncan, big him up. Big him up. Why you got to bring Kobe Bryant into it? Number one. Number two, dudes are now trying to act like as if I mention myself and Kobe in the same sentence and we start talking and we talk long enough, people will think we were similar. Bro, nobody, let me put it like this. There's no NBA player talking basketball today that was on that level. None. Unless Michael Jordan gonna pick up a microphone, unless LeBron James gonna pick up a microphone, bro, there's nobody. All of these dudes that are saying what they're saying, he got in their asses, bro. He got in their asses. All of this stuff that they're saying, they would never say. You're talking about somebody that was scoring 50 points in 4 straight games, bro. 50. Not like 50, 51, 52. No, like 50, 65, like dumb numbers. You're talking about a guy that outscored an entire NBA team in 3 quarters. An entire NBA team with a Hall of Famer on the other roster. You're talking about a guy that made 12 all-defensive teams, tied for the most in guards in the history of basketball. In the history of the sport. The history of it. Him, I think Gary Payton, and that's it. That's it. You're talking about a guy that could lead the league in scoring and make all first defense. Who talking and running their mouth is doing that? Who's blabbering their lips ever did that? Who? So all of these guys, they're trying to make, oh, Kobe wasn't, to me, it's the height of suck. It's the height of suck. Why? Because when the guy was alive, you didn't say this. They knew better. But since he's not here, oh, let's just play with him. Let's try to rage bait Kobe fans and rage bait this and rage, bro. The fact of the matter is, everybody that's commenting on Kobe, none of y'all were close to as good as he was. None of y'all. None of y'all. The fact of the matter is, people were talking about, damn, is Kobe Bryant the next Michael Jordan? How he go from that to having these bum-ass NBA players talking about him like he's just somebody? Chandler Parsons over there talking so dismal. Kobe wasn't all that. Like, yo, bro, not like, watch out. Chill out. You a little bit too comfortable. You a little bit too relaxed when you're talking about him. Like, what are we talking about? And you heard what Lou Williams said. I don't give your stats and your list, these media-driven lists, where if they like you, they'll rate you high, but if they don't like you, they'll rate you low. If I like you, I'm going to come up with reasons to rate you high. If I don't like you and I don't like your personality because you're not a kiss ass or whatever, then I'm not going to rate you high. I don't care about that. We saw what we saw. We saw what we saw. So shout out to Lou Williams for holding it down for Kobe, man. Appreciate that. So let's get into this topic, man. So, day before yesterday, Nick Fuentes went on the Piers Morgan show, and that video now probably has 3 million views. Very, very viral interview. Everyone and their grandmother were reacting to it. on the internet yesterday. We reacted to it. Pissed off some people. Some people liked it. I don't care. I'm just giving you my thoughts and opinions, right? You can't get everybody to agree with you. But one of the things that I've been noticing is that there are a lot of grifters in media. And the simple reason people are grifting is because, well, look, it's a way to make a lot of money. But there are a lot of grifters, not just on the left, but also on the right. Not just black guys, but also white. Everybody's grifting, right? Because it's the easiest way to make $1. I'm always calling out Stephen A. Smith because I believe he's a grifter. I believe that Stephen A. Smith, for the longest time, has always had liberal views. And now all of a sudden, once Trump took office, now all of a sudden he's a conservative commentator. For goodness sakes, he voted for Kamala Harris. He himself said it. There are videos of him arguing on Sean Hannity's show during the campaign, the presidential campaign, for why Kamala Harris is a better candidate than Donald Trump. The moment she loses the election, all of a sudden, he now becomes this Trump guy. I'm like, bro, what are we talking about here? Like, what exactly are we talking about here? But look, for the people that know this, I don't need to explain this. For the people that don't know it, I need to explain it, right? So what I'm going to say right now is going to be quite obvious to a lot of people. And then what I'm going to say is also going to be probably a revelation to some. What you have here, one of the ways that some black creators make content is simply this. They put on a microphone and they start saying things about blacks that are disparaging. One of the quickest ways to gain an audience. One of the quickest ways. It's either black people as a whole, black women, that's a big one. Black women, though, you start talking about black women or women and, oh man, they're going to be showing up in droves for you. Some of these people have figured it out. I want to talk about the Cartier family. How did I discover the Cartier family? I discovered the Cartier family through osmosis, the same way I discovered the Hodge twins. The Hodge twins, they used to do fitness videos. These guys were amongst the funniest, probably the funniest set of people you're going to see on YouTube. They were insanely hilarious. Insanely hilarious, especially with the shows where people they'll read people's questions. Some of the funniest stuff you will ever hear. And you know the craziest part about it was these guys were wildly successful. They were extremely successful doing their videos with their comedy and all of this. It was just absolutely insane. Then I just kind of lost sight of them for some years. And then next thing you know, I couldn't find their videos. I'm like, what happened to these guys, right? What happened? Next thing you know, they turned into the conservative twins. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And then now we know what they've become. But one of the group of people I also discovered was the Cartier family. Now I discovered them because I listen to hip hop. And they would do reaction videos to some of the greatest hip hop records of all time, like Biggie and Bone Thugs and Harmony and Notorious stuff. So that's how I discovered them. So once in a while, I would go on the internet looking for reaction videos. And I noticed they weren't doing these videos anymore. I'm like, okay, maybe they changed or whatever. Then I started looking at some of their content. I'm like, oh, okay. So these guys are grifting here. They started the grift. So what happened? I reacted to that Nick Fuentes video, as I told you. These guys were not even on my radar. Then I was going through the internet and a video pops up from them on their channel. And the video says, the title of the show says, Black America is furious after what Nick Fuentes said, right? And you have these guys on the thumbnail or whatever. And the first thing I thought to my mind was, the grift must continue on. I see these guys are now, they got to keep grifting. So what we want to do is we want to play what some of these guys had to say here. I want you guys to just listen to this stuff here. It's unreal. Listen to them quickly. And then we're going to come back and react to some of the stuff that they said. Take a listen to these guys here.
They know how it is. That's why the first thing they do when they make a little bit of money is they go and leave to another neighborhood.
Okay, so what was...
I'm gonna take a pause on the facts, guys.
I mean,
that's a fact.
If you're to asking me, do I think that people that kill people need to go to jail? I think that's an undeniable fact.
For sure.
I think that a lot of the crime against other black people that comes from black people is a problem. We've said that on this channel 100 times.
2 + 2.
I mean, it's like I can't. It's like I'm not gonna be offended at something that I've also said.
Now, Pierce. He just said, "Oh, I went to Chicago University." That's the problem.
Said my son did.
Well, whatever. A lot of these liberals. I'm not gonna say Pierce is liberal. I don't know what he is, but a lot of people that try to sugarcoat what's going on in the black community and in the hood have never been to the hood, and they have never been around black people enough to know what black people do here. So
I mean, we just watched a video of a birthday party getting shot up. I mean, these are the type of people and type of things that happen in the hood. I mean, it may not happen at the rate people try to deny it, but the fact that it happens is enough to make these type of comments. I think those people need to go to jail. I've said that on this channel too. I've said that the crime that black people commit against other black people is a problem. We talk about that on this channel all the time. We get accused of being coons, sellouts, tap dancing for white. So it's like, bro, I'm a black person. I see crimes committed against people that look like me by people that look like me. I take issue with it. It doesn't matter who agrees with me. It's a problem.
These conservative ideologies are 2 + 2. Now
it's really not even a conservative ideology. I really just feel like that's just a factual ideology. If you kill people, you should go to jail.
Period.
That's what jail is for.
But real quick though,
conservative liberals are literally letting people out that commit.
Yeah, that's facts. It is a conservative talking point as well. But the fact that so if the stat is correct, 1 out of 20.
Pierce is gonna say that's not correct, but let's
look it up real quick.
Well, Pierce, let's hear what Pierce has. Let's
look it up real quick.
His rebuttal is a liberal rebuttal to me. Let's hear what he says. But yeah, you can look it up if you want to, because he said they got people on the show fact checking right now. But either way, it doesn't have to be fact checked to me. We see day to day. I'm black. I'm around black people all the time.
It's interesting. People make comments on us like, "Oh, you guys don't be in the hood. Y'all don't be around black people. Y'all hate black people." No, we don't. They don't. Literally am black. All my friends are black. I'm a black guy. I mean, like what?
Yeah, it said the 1 under 20 stat. Not Pierce. Nick said that he got that from somewhere. Maybe it's wrong or right. Maybe it's right or wrong. Who knows? But we know what we see day to day.
It says that, according to Grog, that stat isn't.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna keep it 100. I'm just gonna keep it 100. If you kill people, you should go to jail. It doesn't matter what race you are.
I feel like we honestly shouldn't even be saying that on the freaking mic.
I just think that's just a factual statement.
Let's hear what Pierce has to say.
Okay, you would accept that the official crime statistics are 1 in 100.
No, let's check it. We do need to check it.
I don't care about the stat at all. I don't care about the stat at all.
I care about stats and facts and speaking the truth.
Well, I mean,
he said data hazard.
Look, at the end of the day, we know what the hell going on. Everybody gets stats wrong every day.
Excellent. So you heard what the Cartier family had to say there. Now, I apologize. I don't know their names individually. Again, I never used to watch this show like that. I only used to see it for the reaction videos. I just want to go over some of what they said. It's a long video. I think they did a 31 minute reaction video. And they got a lot of comments, a lot of views, 230,000 views, right? So they got a lot of traction out of this video. But I just want to react to some of what they said. They played a part where Nick Fuentes and Piers Morgan were arguing over the data, the statistics over violence among black men and all of this stuff. As they're there arguing, I think they paused the video and the guy that's always sitting to the right says, you know what, let me try to pull up the data here, right? And then the guy that's sitting on the left, the fair one, the light-skinned one, he goes, man, I don't care nothing about these stats. I mean, I don't care nothing about these stats. And the guy on the right, just looking at him, he seemed like he was trying to be at least balanced. Number one. Number two, looking at his facial expression, he looks like somebody that's being held hostage. He looks like Steve Nash on the Mind the Game podcast with LeBron. He looks like he's there being held hostage. A lot of what was said, the guy looks uncomfortable. It looks like I'm doing this and I'm like, I don't feel good about what I'm doing. Right? Some of it. Now, that's how he looked in this video. I don't know how he looks all the time, but essentially what these gentlemen were the point that they were trying to push forward was they were talking about violence, being amongst black people. You're going to get, there's a high likelihood of violence and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. And I read through some of their comments and some people like, man, I like these guys. I like these guys because they're willing to be honest about this thing. They're willing to be honest about it. And I like them for that. Who here is saying that there isn't violence in the black community? Who here is saying that there isn't? Are we breaking any news by saying this? Who? Is there violence in the black? Yes, there is. But you got to ask, what are the drivers of violence? Because these guys are being slick. They're even by the title of the video, Black America's Fear. And I'm sitting there like, ain't you part of Black America? Like the way I read the time, like, ain't y'all a part of Black America? Or maybe am I misunderstanding something? Aren't you part of Black America too? Or so what do you mean Black America? You might as well have wrote, we Black Americans are pissed off because ain't you Black? So I'm confused that they said that. It almost seems as if, looking at the wording of their title, like as if it's like those Black people over there and then we're here. It's like we're the good ones. We're the ones that kind of understand how the world works, while those over there, they don't even know what's going. Like it's us and then it's those guys. And I'm like, I'm confused. And you think you're like, I'm confused, right? So you have that. But essentially, what they're trying to, the point that they're trying to hammer home are few. Number one, by saying Black America is free, they're saying, oh, Blacks are emotional and this. They can't handle information. They can't handle facts and all of this stuff. And they're also trying to reinforce the idea that Blacks are inherently a violent race of people. That's essentially what these guys are doing. And they know it. Do you know how I know this? Because one of them says they don't care about the stats. All they care about is the narrative. That is irrelevant. He's like, man, I'm speaking from my experience. We all know. We be in the hood, man. We all know. Okay. Let an adult take it from here. Is there violence in the Black community? Yes, there is. Okay, you got it. But is it because they're Black people? No. I'll repeat it once more. Is there violence within the Black community? The answer is yes, a resounding yes. Every Black person watching this video would probably agree with me, most likely agree with me, yes. But is the violence there because they're Black people? No. Now, America is a unique situation. Why? Because the Black citizens of the United States, those that are descendants of slaves, they have a totally different upbringing in the United States. Some of the mental warfare and stuff that they face through generations, it's a different thing. But I want to talk about this thing from a macro standpoint. I live in Nigeria. I'm a United States citizen, moving back to the States. I've been spending the last 7 months trying to figure out what state I want to move to. I still haven't figured it out, right? Pissing my wife off, but who cares? I'll figure it out later. I'm living in Nigeria. Guess what race of people you find in Nigeria? Guess. Black, right? You find Black people. Do you know what I've discovered? If you listen to these guys here, you should be finding Black people all over the place killing each other. But that's not the point. That's not the case. What you have Black people that they don't commit violence. They don't do nothing. These are people that have money. They live in good neighborhoods. They don't commit crimes. The neighborhood I live in, there's no crime here. There's nobody shooting up nobody here. There's nobody fighting with nobody here. And the next neighborhood over there and the next neighbor. No, why? Because it's not poor where I live. But if you go to the poor areas where education isn't there, of course you're going to find violence. But if you listen to these jokers, if you come to Nigeria, everybody's going to be fighting and killing each other because, well, they're Black people. What about if you go to Albania? One of my college roommates lived in Albania. He'll tell you just how dangerous of a country that is. And what are Albanians? Are they purple people or what? What are Albanians? Do you know why he told me the number one drivers? Poverty. So violence is prevalent where there's poverty and a lack of education. What about Mexico? What about all of these countries all over the world where you find low income and low education? What are you going to find there? Violence. Where have you been where you see rich people fighting and shooting each other? Where? Where is the place? Cartier family. Aren't there rich Black neighborhoods in America? Maybe in Atlanta, various pockets, Maryland, wherever. Do you find them up in there shooting up each other? Of course they don't. Why? Because these are educated people that make a lot of money. But if we listen to you guys, you would have it seem like, man, Blacks are just like this. No. People that live in low income areas and low education areas, that's where you find crime predominantly. It's not a Black thing. It's a human thing. You can find this playing out itself everywhere in the world. In any country, if you go to areas and pockets where there's low education and low income, you will find crime. But that's not what these guys are telling you. They're talking about some damn Black America is furious. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. And I'm just calling it out. I'm just calling it out. These people are not serious. They're grifting. Come on, we know this, man. We know this. We know this. These guys are not here to tell the truth about Black people. They're here to promote an ideology and a stigma towards Blacks. That's what they're there to do. And they have no problem sitting their Black asses in front of that camera and doing it. Do you know why? Because at the end of the day, that check gon' clear. Cha-ching, ching, 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 ching. They making money. And this is one of the biggest hustles going on in the United States today. Whenever I see some of these dudes overzealously saying this type of cornball, goofy shit, I know, oh, okay, this guy, he finally had enough time to make some money. Not to say that they're Black conservatives. Of course, they're Black conservatives. But these guys that do this is some other shit. This is some thing about, oh, there's violence, bro. What are you talking? Have you been around the world? What about all the countries I've been to? I've been to so many countries with so many different backgrounds. So many different backgrounds. You think there's no poverty there? I went to Monte Carlo a number of years ago. Monaco, Monte Carlo. There were Black people walking around. Were they up there shooting up and stabbing people? Huh? Were they shooting and stabbing people? How were they? Of course they were not. Because they had money. They had money. I've been to Egypt, been to Malaysia, been to Dubai. I've been to so many countries. But if you go to the dangerous parts, guess what? Your ass will be dealt with by the people of that country. But leave it to the Cartier family. They will have you out here thinking, man, Blacks are just violent, man. Blacks are just Blacks are just violent, man. I don't know what to tell you. They just a bunch of violent mofos. Stephen A. Smith made a lot of news over the last 2 months over the back and forth that he had with not back and forth really, with some of the things that he was saying about Jasmine Crockett and some of the pushback that he received from it, right? And this afternoon I was actually driving back to the store and I was talking to Marco, the co-founder here at DREAMERSPRO, and I was like, man, I'm still looking for content I'm going to think of. And as we're talking, I'm like, that's right. I had a video that I wanted to talk about because I heard the news that Jasmine Crockett was going to be running for the Senate, for a Senate seat, right? And I was like, oh, that's right. I remember I was supposed to do something about it, talk about it. And we're going to get to that momentarily in a bit. So as I was thinking about that, I was like, that's right. And then I thought, I can only imagine what Stephen A. Smith would be feeling right now after hearing this news. Because Stephen A. Smith, earlier this year, or 2 months ago, he decided to go on a tour where he was absolutely trashing Jasmine Crockett. And people came for his ass. But for those of y'all who don't remember some of the things that we want to say, he said, I want to play some of it here and some of his reasoning behind why he was saying the things that he was saying. And then I'm going to come back and continue on the show. We got a lot to talk about today. Take a listen to this sound here.
How Jasmine Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituency. Because like Joe Manchin said, he's there to represent, or was there for 15 years to represent, the people of West Virginia. Talking a whole lot of stuff about me because they did not like what I had to say about Representative Jasmine Crockett. She is a Democrat out of Texas, Texas's 30th congressional district. Her work, and her verbiage and all of that stuff speaks for itself. And she has become a big time public figure in essence, not just as a representative, but speaking out on a plethora of issues involving the current administration and the White House, et cetera, et cetera. And I made some noise last week because I had the temerity, the unmitigated gall, to say this about Representative Crockett when talking about the state of our politics in the midst of a government shutdown, by the way, that has unfolded since October 1st. And all the verbiage and all the nonsense that I've heard over the last few days is why it can get exhausting. Because nothing frustrates me more than when people have the truth at their disposal and they choose, maybe not lie, maybe not even embellish, but allow their emotions to usurp facts, and all of a sudden want to use that as an excuse to label me as being something and doing something I'm neither not nor have I done, which in this case is disrespecting Representative Crockett out of Texas, who, by the way, has had an invite to this show for weeks, by the way. Governors Josh Shapiro and Spencer Cox came on this show. Senator Lindsey Graham came on this show. Joe Manchin, now retired, came on this show. Bill O'Reilly, Bill Maher came on this show. Okay? And more are coming. And she has an invite. And AOC has an invite. Hakeem Jeffries, Democratic House Leader, he just was on this show. I've invited Jasmine Crockett. I have nothing but respect for her. I just disagree on what she's making headlines for because I think it's counterproductive to the ultimate goal. But yet, here we are, and the word disrespect comes in, and people try to engage with words, like disrespect and implying misogyny and all of this other nonsense. Stop it. Stop it. Can we be grown-ups and deal with what the real issue is involving what I said? Willie D, Roland Martin, Bakari Sellers, and Angela Rye, who I have profound respect for. I mean, the list goes on and on with all of these people. I don't have their names in front of me to my producer that texted to me. I don't have my phone on me right now. So I apologize for not having those names in front of me. But I'm what are we talking about? How's it disrespectful to say what I said? Could you just disagree? Could we just say, yo, Stephen A., I disagree with you. Here's why.
Excellent. So you heard what Stephen A. Smith had to say there. Now, I'm going to quickly read from two articles. The first one is from NBC News, and it says, Representative Jasmine Crockett launches Senate race in Texas, shaking up Democratic primary. Jasmine Crockett, Democratic Texas, launched her run for Senate on Monday, shaking up the Democratic primary just before the state's filing deadline. Crockett joins the race to take on GOP Senator John Cornyn, who is facing multiple primary challenges himself. The two-term Congresswoman's decision also comes as her Dallas-based House seat was redrawn in a GOP-led redistricting effort. There are a lot of people that said, you got to stay in the House, all right? We need your voice. We need you there. Crockett told her supporters as she launched her campaign Monday night. And I understand that. But we need a bigger voice. Crockett, with the slogan Texas Tough, pitched herself as the Democrat best positioned to drive out turnout and appeal to disillusioned voters, saying she can build a strong multiracial, multi-generational coalition, and pledged to focus on addressing the cost of living and holding the President Donald Trump accountable. Democrats have not won a statewide race in Texas in more than 30 years. But they have been eyeing next year's Senate race as a potential pickup opportunity. With Cornyn facing primary challenges from State Attorney General Ken Paxton and Republican Wesley Hunt, Democrats need to net 4 seats to take back the Senate next year. If no candidate wins more than 50% of the vote in either of the March 3 primaries, the two vote getters advance to a primary runoff on May 26. Crockett has been openly weighing a Senate run in recent months following the state's mid-decade redistricting, which significantly altered the congressional lines on her North Texas home base. She likely enters the race with relatively high name recognition, given her national profile as a vocal critic of Trump's administration and Republicans. But some of Crockett's comments could be fodder for Republicans to use against her in a general election, and Republicans have already been goading her to run, seeing her as a manageable opponent. You have that article, and then I want to some of our adversaries said, but I also want to read from another article. This is from The Hill, right? And this is from the president himself, President Donald Trump, reacting to this news. And it says, Trump says Crockett's Senate run a gift to Republicans. I want to read just a little bit more before we get into what we're going to say here. President Trump on Tuesday called Representative Jasmine Crockett entrance into the Texas Senate race as a gift to Republicans. She's a low IQ person. I can't imagine she wins, Trump told reporters while en route to a speech in Pennsylvania. Maybe she'll get the Democratic nomination, but I think it's a gift to Republicans. I've watched her for the last 2 years. I can't even believe she's a politician, actually. What are my thoughts about this, right? Obviously, President Donald Trump is not a fan of Jasmine Crockett, understandably, because she's been very vocal against him. I have a few things that I'm looking at here. The first thing is this. I'm really going to be interested to see the coverage from Stephen A. Smith towards Jasmine Crockett. I'm going to be very, very interested because given some of the things that we said in the past, and also they said in the past, but it's also important to mention that he also apologized in the end. When the heat became too much for his ass, he apologized, which was something, by the way, that absolutely turned off his audience. His audience members were pissed. How do I know? We did a show about it. Right, so I'm going to be very interested to see the type of coverage he's going to have when she's running. Number one. Number two, I'm also interested to see if he's going to invite her on the show. Now, he has mentioned on numerous occasions that he has invited her, but now she's going to be running for Senate seat. It's going to be interesting to see if she's going to take him up on that offer and go on his show and debate some of these things. Now, obviously, we can all pretty much guess what positions Stephen A. Smith is going to say. Some other things that I'm going to be looking at. I want to see what some of her campaign slogans are going to be. We just mentioned it just now. I want to see what her messaging is going to be like. I'm also going to be looking at her ability to fundraise. And for those of you who know, it's very important. For those of you who don't know, it's damn important. Your ability to fundraise is a major key in winning any election. Whether you're running for yourself, or you're fundraising for yourself rather, or you're fundraising for one of your colleagues, it's very, very important. And we know she has a reputation for being able to fundraise. So I'll be interested to see when she's deploying her efforts for something that has to do with her, right? I'm also going to be looking to see if she's going to be able to get some of her own supporters to chip in. And I think what's going to happen is, this is just a hunch, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think she's going to be able to fundraise quite a bit, especially after this back and forth that she had with Stephen A. Smith. I think she's going to, if people are not going to directly give her money, they're probably going to fundraise for her. Because what ended up happening was it looked bad on Stephen A. Smith's part going at her. And she got a lot of external support from some notable people, like celebrities, right? Who went out there and were like, no, you can't do this, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to be interested to see how that works out as well. In terms of her being the future of the Democratic Party, as of now, we don't know. All right, we don't know. Zoran Mamdani just won the mayoral race out there in New York, and obviously people are like, well, some people were saying that's a breath of fresh air for Democrats. Some people were wondering, do we need to do what he did? Not we, but like the Democrats were saying, do we need to kind of model what he did, his no-nonsense direct approach, going directly to Americans and speaking to their pain, or do we need to look at someone else? We also have some people that looked at Gavin Newsom and others, but that's a while away. We're talking about 2028, right? But Jasmine Crockett is one of the younger voices out of the Democratic Party. She's one of the names that you know. Right, so we have to see how she's going to do during this race. But man, I am going to be very, 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 very interested to see what Stephen A. Smith is going to say. Is he going to give her a fair shake? We don't know. Right, because what I expect her to be more of what she is. I expect her to be more of what she is. And the things that turned off Stephen A. Smith about her in terms of her rhetoric, the way that she spoke, this is what I was saying in some of those shows we were reacting. But it's like, bro, have you been following politics over the last 3 months? Like 6, 7, 8, 9 months? Have you been following politics? Don't you know that the decorum is all the way, like they threw that to the wind. It's like the Wild Wild West. Anything that you think of can be said now. We are living in one of the most outlandish times in American history. People are just coming out here and saying anything. Political correctness doesn't even exist anymore. So that was one of the reasons why I was so confused by Stephen A. Smith calling her out the way he was calling her out. Like, you're saying this. I'm like, bro, have you heard what people are saying? Didn't I just read you a quote of the president calling her a low IQ person? When before in the history of politics in the United States will you hear sitting presidents calling other members of the government talking about these people are low? When have you ever heard that? Like, bro, where do you live? What about Laura Loomer and all of it? This is the way it is. And frankly, that whole thing of, oh, come give me a hug, give me a kiss, let's just be, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. To me, what I've been noticing, and the Democrats really dropped the ball, is that they're really beginning to change some of their strategy. One of the things where the Republicans whooped their asses was their ability to reach out to younger people. They weren't looking at it from this pompous standpoint of, oh, you know, when we're talking politics, we're only going to be getting people that's on TV. No. Trump said, look, man, I'm going to go to podcasters. He went to the Andrew Schultz show. He went to the Joe Rogan show. I think Kamala Harris was meant to go to Joe Rogan show. She turned it down. I think she wanted him to go see her or whatever it is. And I think he wanted it. I think it showed like 2 hours, 3 hours. She wanted it to be 45 minutes or so. So they dropped the ball. But and they paid for it. But what they're witnessing now is, what you witness now is that if you look at a lot of these political shows, you see a lot of guys that have podcasts that are on YouTube. You'll see them now on CNN and in MSNBC because they're like, oh, oops, we dropped the ball. So the Republicans were ahead of the curve when it came to forecasting and understanding the pulse of Americans, especially young voters. And the Democrats are quickly waking up to things, right? So from that standpoint, they're still playing catch up. The Republicans have a head start on them when it comes to that. So things are changing quickly. And the methods of the past no longer seem to work. Caution has been thrown to the wind. So it'll be very interesting to see. You guys let me know what you think about our analysis. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We'll catch you guys on the next show. I'm out. Peace.